Good day, everyone. My name is John Gilbert Tiarcon, and I will be reporting about Chapter 21, Second Homecoming, and the Liga Filipina. So, before I proceed, let's have a little recap of the events that took place in the previous chapter, which was the 20th chapter entitled Ophthalmic Surgeon in Hong Kong. So first, once Jose Rizal left Europe for Hong Kong, he brought with him a recommendation letter by Juan Luna and 600 copies of the Alfil. This happened October 18, 1891, shortly after publishing his second novel. Second, he arrived in Hong Kong and opened his medical clinic, which served as his source of income while living there. Third, a family reunion in Hong Kong. The fourth is the proposal of the Borneo colonization project. Fifth is he continued his writings in Hong Kong. And lastly is his decision to go home to the Philippines. So, last part of the 20th chapter is the first part of the 21st. So, moving forward, the 21st chapter is divided into two important parts, the Second Homecoming and the Liga Filipina. So we go forward first with the Second Homecoming. Arrival in Manila with sister. This marked Jose Rizal's re-entry into the Hazardous campaign for reforms. Firmly believed that the fight had a new face. The battlefield is in the Philippines. So, as the tension was rising, the situation in the Philippines got worse, he decided to go back for the second time. Because this time, he believed that it is better to fight alongside with his fellow Filipinos. He also told his countrymen in Europe, "That is where we should meet. There, we will help one another. There, together, we will suffer or triumph, perhaps." Rizal arrived at Manila with his sister Lucia on June 26, 1892 at 12 noon, which was a Sunday. Upon arriving, they were met by carabineers or soldiers in carbines, headed by a major. There was also a captain and a sergeant of the veteran Guardia Civil. So this happened because the Governor General already knew that Jose Rizal was coming home for the second time, because this was part of a trap back at chapter 20. And then he went to Hotel de Oriente, occupied a room facing the Church of Bumando. At 4 p.m., he went to the Malacanang Palace to meet the Spanish Governor General Eulodio Desbujol Conde de Gaspe. This was the same Governor General that did not reply to Rizal's letter of proposal for the Borneo project. The Governor General agreed to pardon his father but not the rest of his family, and was ordered to return on June 29. So, as Rizal and her sister were the first to come home, he was ordered to tell his family to come back home as well, except his father. After his brief meeting, he visited his sisters in the city, Narcisa and Neneng, visiting friends in Central Luzon. So, not only did he visit his two sisters, but also his close friends. On the following day at 6 p.m. June 27, Rizal boarded a train in Tutuban Station and visited his friends in Malolos, San Fernando, Tarlac, and Bacolor. He was welcomed and lavishly entertained by his friends, who were good patriots and were his supporters. They had time to discuss the problems affecting their people. So these were Rizal's closest friends. In fact, at the time after publishing his first novel, which was the No Limitangere, his very homes that he is visiting were raided by the Spaniards, and they confiscated a lot of the novel. So in times of challenging, we really do see, or we can really find the right people for us, and also the true friends we have in our surroundings. Rizal returned home by train the following day, June 28 at 5 p.m. and was followed by Spanish spies. Other interviews with Despujon. So these are the list and the dates of the succeeding meetings he had with the Governor General. And beside it are the contents of his diary, which I just shortened and summarized. June 28, Wednesday. Rizal saw His Excellency. He was given hope with regard to his sisters. The interview ended after 2 hours and he was to return tomorrow. June 29, Thursday. They talked about the Borneo project, which the general greatly opposed. So no wonder why Jose Rizal's letter back in Hong Kong for the proposal of the Borneo project were always rejected, and he did not receive any reply from it. July 3, Sunday. Rizal returned and he thanked the general for having lifted the exile of his sisters. Rizal assured that his father and brother would arrive on the first boat. He was also permitted to go back to Hong Kong. The Liga Filipina. So this is the second part of my report. And the first event, so the founding of the League was initiated by a meeting of these smart, educated, and professional people. Now, as we can see in the list, they're actually familiar names, right? And their presence in this meeting served as a sign that this is a very important league to be formed. Rizal explained the objectives of the Liga Filipina, a civic league of Filipinos which he desired to establish, and its role in the socio-economic life of the people. He presented the constitution of the Liga, which he had written in Hong Kong, and discussed its provisions. The patriots were favorably impressed and gladly approved the establishment of the Liga. So, Rizal's hard work back in Hong Kong by writing the constitution of this league was not put to waste, and actually this was another reason why he went home to the Philippines. He wanted to start the establishment of the Liga. And right after the meeting, the officers were elected as follows. Ambrosio Salvador, the president, is the first picture we can see on the left. Diodato Arellano, the secretary, the second picture. Third is the Bonifacio Arevalo, the treasurer, the third picture. And last but not least is Agustin de la Rosa, fiscal, is the picture we can see on the right side of the screen. So these are the first officers, with Rizal being the founder of this establishment. Constitution of the Liga Filipina. The aims of the Liga Filipina as embodied in its constitution were the following. So it had its missions, it had its purpose, and number one was to unite the whole archipelago into one compact and homogeneous body. Second, mutual protection in everyone and necessity. Third, defense against all violence and injustice. Fourth, encouragement of education, agriculture, and commerce. Fifth, study and application of reforms. So as what we can internalize from the list of aims of the Liga Filipina, we can therefore say that Sir Rizal never really wanted to fight with the Spaniards, nor take revenge on their cruelty and abuse to the Filipinos. He just wants as the Filipinos to be treated equal, to be given the same opportunity that the Spanish people have, and to be respected as a human being. The membership of this Liga was not only open to chosen people, but to all Filipinos, as long as they have at heart the welfare of their fatherland. They are qualified to join. Every member pays an entrance fee of 2 pesos and a monthly due of 10 centavos. Once an individual becomes a member of this Liga, his or her duties are as follows. Number 1, obey the orders of the Supreme Council. Number 2, to help in recruiting new members. Number 3, to keep in strictest secrecy the decisions of the Liga authorities. Number 4, to have a symbolic name which cannot change until he becomes president of the council. Number 5, to report to the fiscal anything that he may hear which affects the Liga. Number 6, to behave well as befits a good Filipino. And last but not least, to help fellow members in all ways. Rizal arrested and jailed in Fort Santiago. On Wednesday, July 6, Rizal went to Malacanang Palace to resume a series of interviews with the Governor General. In the middle of the interview, the Governor General suddenly showed him some printed leaflets which were allegedly found in Lucia's pillowcase. They were entitled Pobres Friars or Poor Friars. They were a satire against the rich Dominican friars who amassed fabulous riches contrary to their monastic vow of poverty. Rizal vigorously denied having those leaflets in either his or Lucia's bag, which had been thoroughly searched upon arrival from Hong Kong by custom authorities who found. In other words, the printed leaflets that were allegedly found in Lucia's pillowcase were planted. It was not said who planted them or who ordered to put them there, but one thing was for sure. They wanted something against Jose Rizal. They wanted Jose Rizal to be in jail. Despite his denial and demand for an investigation, Rizal was placed under arrest and escorted to Fort Santiago by Ramon Despujol, the Governor General's nephew. So, the state of the Philippines really remained the same. No? The Filipinos never get the fair share of equality, and they never were respected by the Spaniards. The following day, July 7, the Gaceta de Manila published the story of Rizal's arrest, which produced indignant commotion among the Filipino people, especially the newly organized Liga Filipina. So upon hearing the news, a lot of Filipinos were furious and had negative comments on the incident. Sadly, they can't do anything to change what happened, because if they do, they might be thrown in jail with him or be threatened for the rest of their lives. Arbitrary deportation to Dapitan. General Governor Despujol issued a decree deporting Rizal to one of the islands in the south. Shortly after midnight of July 14, 12:30 a.m. of July 15, 1992, Rizal was brought under heavy guard to the steamer Cebu, which was sailing for Dapitan. The steamer under Captain Delgues departed at 1 a.m. and reached Dapitan on Sunday, July 17th, in the evening. Captain Delgras went ashore and handed Rizal over to Captain Ricardo Carnicero, the Spanish commandant of Dapitan. That same night, Rizal began his exile in lonely Dapitan, which lasted until July 31, 1896, a period of 4 years. With that being said, life during Rizal's time was hard. We could just imagine how he felt being in prison for nothing after all he has done. But all those challenges, all those injustice back then, created the heroes we will eternally be grateful for. It is important we make the best of the freedom we have now and not waste a single second of it, to honor the sacrifices and braveness they have shown in times of challenge. And that ends my report. Thank you everyone for listening. God bless.